Hannah Gerlander.
And I'm Nora Freed.
And you're listening to
High Heels and Punchlines.
So Episode 8.
Sorry, I need to stop saying so easy.
It's okay.
Okay.
It is so easy for us now.
It is so easy.
Everything about this for us is no big deal.
Walk in the park.
Episode 8, Three's a Crowd. You said you liked this? You felt relatable or you loved it?
I'm going to tell you why I liked this.
Tell me.
And it's going to cross over. I've been watching Couple to Throuple on Peacock.
You're the one who's told me like 4 times to watch that, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Couple to Throuple, which is about...
It might have been me.
Is it couples who want to have a threesome or
Hannah,
couples who don't want to?
It is the most psychotic show. I mean, it's just a classic, like, what is going on show. But it's a lot of people who are either just in a straight relationship looking for a third, where like the girl is kind of bi-curious, but the guy is like definitely not open to a man and only wants another woman. So then it kind of has like a polygamist undertone.
Okay.
And then, which, you know, I read a lot about polygamy and Mormon cults and stuff. So like that's obviously a big part of what's drawing me into the show is I'm like, what is going on here? Did you know that?
So the couples
about the Mormon?
Yeah, because when we talked about Salt Lake City.
Yeah, I read a lot about Mormon cults. Anyways.
So like these couples come on and they're introduced to just like random people who are willing to be thirds?
Yes. And then
is it like
every
a competition?
Week, huh?
Is it a competition show?
No, I mean, not really.
Like
but it's like everyone lines up and they're like, which third do you want? And then they pick the third and then they get like a night with a third. And then they decide whether they want to keep the third in their throuple or if they want to swap them out for someone else. It is so crazy.
And are they all living together?
They're all living together, but the singles live in a different house during the times when
the
other
singles
people.
Fucking?
I bet you they are. There was one scene where they were all making out in the pool. But yeah. So yeah. But anyways, it's the craziest show. So when I was watching this episode, I was like, wow, how did the stars align? I'm watching Couple to Throuple and I'm rewatching Sex and the City, Three's a Crowd. I mean, what is going on?
And I'm also, just side note, I'm glad you reminded me about this show today because I started a reality show on Netflix that is just like, it's so boring. But I'm like, I kind of like,
oh, this is good.
I'm like, I need to switch.
It's good, and it's good in that it's really bad. It's like one of those, it's the couples where it's just a straight guy and a bisexual girl. One of the girls is not bisexual. She just wants to like a friend. So like it's really sad to watch. But they're kind of like cringy to watch, obviously. But there's a new couple that just came on that's like, they're all pansexual and they're like, the guy is like very much it's just a very the whole group is just like non-binary, they're they're down for whatever, and they're really cool, and they're from Bushwick. And so they're spicing everything up.
Of course they are.
Sorry, I didn't mean to misgender the person in the beginning, but what I meant is like they are all spicing up the house in a way that is very refreshing and nice.
And threesomes are what spice up this whole episode.
It's crazy.
This episode, I liked it as a watcher. I didn't find it as relatable as episode 7. I just feel like, I don't think threesomes, well, we'll get into it. But this episode I liked as someone who turns to the show for like, to feel seen and feel like everyone goes through the same thing. This episode didn't do it for me.
Okay.
But I did like watching it. And Charlotte's scene, which I'll wait until we get into, that made me want to have a threesome. Obviously not her actual threesome, but her dream about it. Do you know what
really?
I thought that was hot.
I really like in a threesome, I really would not want the people to be starting without me. It's like you started the movie without me. Like, come on.
Well, especially in that scenario, which I'll wait till we get into it. But like, he's with you, Charlotte. Like, this girl should be walking in. The girl should be walking in.
I'm not really sure what her fantasy. I don't really understand.
I think that was based off of Samantha saying you want to be a guest star. Yeah. So I think Char was like, I'm going to be the guest star.
Samantha just fucking spits knowledge. Like, no, like it's just,
I know.
Left and right. She's like, only do it if you're going to be a guest star. Then they're like, you wouldn't know you haven't been in relationships. She's like, that's why I'm having fucking good sex. Like, she's just like,
this was a great episode for Samantha.
Yeah.
The last episode, episode 7, her story was like clearly like the D plot, like
Yeah,
her
no,
just
she
like
wasn't.
getting a new apartment and sleeping with him. But like this episode, she had her own story. I'll give you the highlights. So in this episode, Three's a Crowd, Carrie's big question was, were threesomes the new frontier? Charlotte is asked to have a threesome. Carrie learns about Big's past. Samantha is sleeping with a married man, and Miranda is feeling left out by the girls and has some really cringy behavior.
Can we just fast forward real quick and talk about Miranda's choice of therapist?
That was shocking.
That was like, what the fuck? So I saw a therapist once when I first moved to New York. I probably was like in my early 20s. I was like 22, where I saw this therapist. He was like this old man, and I would just come in and just say the most atrocious things that I had been doing. I mean, I was 22 years old. I was being really scary. And he would just be like, okay, Nora. And then there came a moment where I was like, I don't think this guy should be my therapist. I'm like, really, this is like talking to my dad and I'm freaking him out.
Yeah.
You know? And like
he's getting worried.
And I'm almost doing this as like a bit. This is before I even realized I wanted to do stand up. I was just doing stand up to this.
Do you have a male therapist now?
Man. No.
I do. I've only had male therapists. I know you do.
And I'm like, Hannah, what is going on?
Actually, I had a female therapist for a little bit in high school.
And my friend Hope and I did this. We shared a therapist. We just never told the therapist. It was crazy. We had to really align our weekends before we went into therapy, but we both just really loved the therapist and just didn't want her to know. You would love my therapist right now, and I would love to give her to you. But I mean, it would be really complicated.
How did you, like, is it through your insurance?
I got her through Alma. She's amazing.
But like, does your insurance cover it? Do you pay
my
out of pocket?
insurance covers.
Okay.
So, and she's great.
I need a new therapist because I'm taking a break from my therapist just because he's no longer. No, I really love Robert. Robert's he's a really good therapist. He just sometimes I in an unhealthy way see a therapist whenever there's a crisis, but I don't have money to see Robert every other week. So when something big comes up, I have like an hour call with him and then I don't see him for like a month. Yeah. He would prefer I see him once a week, but I'm like, fine. And then he's so nice. He's like, you can pay me back whenever. I can help you out. Like, he's nice, but it's just like,
you need something consistent.
Someone consistent, and I don't want the stress of money around it at all. And also, like, yeah, I can pay you back whenever, but I'd rather not be making a tab for myself. That's not going to help my mental health. But Robert's method is pretty laid back and like safe and comforting. And that would be good if I saw him every week. But for someone I'm only calling during a crisis, I need like all hands on deck. I need like boots on the ground. You know, like I need like first in command.
Well, I think the idea is that you would see a therapist enough that you wouldn't have those crises.
Yes, and he knows that. Yeah. And he tells me that every time. And I'm like, yeah, but we're here. So let's bring out the big guns.
Put on the bulletproof vest.
I'm like you got to leave the way that you've been a therapist your whole life. Yeah. And you need to like saddle up and really fix the problem because you're not going to see me for 4 months.
This is really crazy. The way that Miranda asked her therapist in the second session, she's like, would you have a three-way with me? That's how I am with my therapist. Like one time I got up on the Zoom and I was like, do I look fat? You tell me. You tell me. And she was like, Nora, no. And I was like, no, you're lying. I gained 10 pounds. I need you to tell me. And it was just like crazy. So
what did she say to you?
She was like, Nora, we need to talk about why you're doing this. And I'm like, because you
won't be honest with me.
I was like, cut the bullshit, I'm fat. And I mean, and then I lost weight again. And I was like, Elizabeth, am I skinny? And she's like, yes, Nora, you're skinny. I'm like, there we go. I was fat before.
I knew you've been waiting to say
and
that.
She's like, this whole thing we need to talk about.
I want to applaud Miranda's therapist though, because he's asking the big questions. When he said, oh, so you're attracted to your female friends. Yeah. She's like, no. And
she's like, no, never.
And I'm like, thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Maybe it was all foreshadowing. Maybe it was all connected.
Maybe we shouldn't have been so shocked. Because now rewatching it, knowing that she's with Che, like I'm like, of course she is. Of course she is. Look at this.
It was insane. And then there was that one quote that she says.
Well, for the background, in this episode, the girls that are talking about threesomes, And they're kind of going around the table saying like, Charlotte's like, Carrie, like I'd feel comfortable if you were my third. And Samantha was like, oh, Charlotte, I think there's something sexy about you. And no one says they have a threesome with Miranda, which becomes Miranda's whole identity for the entire episode.
But I actually kind of get where that. So
I felt bad for her.
I did feel
Nobody
bad
could have
for
thrown her a
her.
bone.
Yeah. Actually, okay. So two things. One, she says, if your friends won't go down on you, who will? Which is like
Wrong.
Miranda, your friends don't go down on you. Other people
That's
do.
a weird
That would be weird.
understanding of friendship. And
So
validation.
that was a quote I had to write down. Also, when they're going around and they're saying like who they want to have a three-way with and stuff, I do feel for Miranda in that, because I did a show a couple weeks ago. I'm not going to say which show. I'm not going to say what it was. But after we were all hanging out, and I had people coming up to me being like, oh my God, that was so good, blah, blah, blah. And then this one girl came over and was like literally going around saying how she loved everyone's bit. And then just like skipped me. And I was like, it really did like it. And then I just like, I even said to her, I was like, you did a really great job. And she's like, thanks. And I was like, you're a bitch.
Yeah, afterwards, I'm going to need to know who that was.
Yeah, no, I'm going to tell you.
Afterwards,
But
I'm going to
it
need
was
to know
just-
about that.
Yeah. And then tomorrow you might see her. She's dead. And Hannah killed her. So,
I killed her. Well, because also even
it was so rude, but it was also crazy because so many people were coming up to me and telling me how good of a job I was doing. So I was like, this is just you maybe being jealous.
Absolutely.
That you didn't do as well as me.
I
So you
also
couldn't
think
even say it.
even if you
Or maybe I
are
wasn't that good.
jealous or you think someone didn't do a good job, if they are standing there and you are complimenting everyone, you need to compliment them.
Always comment everyone. Just say like they could have thrown me
Also,
anything.
Good job. Just good job, and do the fist bump everyone loves to do in stand up. Like,
Which when did the fist bump even start? When is it going to end?
It's happening at the Manhattan
crazy.
clubs, because
Really?
anytime that when I first
It
started doing
started
stand up
in Brooklyn. I
they
think
took it to Manhattan and the boys kept it.
I do it all the time, and
I
you
hate
know how
doing
many
it.
times I've been missed. So many times I reach out to give people a fist bump, and then I don't
the
get it
fist
back,
bump
and I look like
is
an idiot.
Never how I would tell someone good job.
Sorry, I just did that.
And it's like, I would never, that's not me. I would rather I feel like a handshake would be more me. Like a handshake with the double hold, like, you're so good. Like,
I feel like that might take too long as you're like kind of going through the crowd.
I don't think we even need to do the fist bump. Just like, good job. Or like, good job.
Yeah.
The little okay sign or the thumbs up.
The date I was on last night, he at one point did a fist bump with me, and I was like, this is triggering.
How?
I don't even
Like,
remember what we were
context?
talking about, but he's like, come on, let's handshake on this. And I was like, what?
What deal did you make?
Wait, I don't even remember.
Right.
My memory issues are going to be a huge problem.
Imagine you agreed to meet his parents this week.
Yeah, maybe I did.
Maybe you agreed you'd do anal.
Honestly, he's really hot.
Meet his parents.
I should read his parents.
You should meet his parents. You should be like, I don't know what we fist bumped on, but if it was about meeting your parents, I'm down for that.
Oh my God. Yeah.
So moving back to the episode, I thought Samantha saying blowjobs are huge, right? Not blowjobs. Three-ways are huge right now. She goes through the blowjob of the 90s.
And then what's of the 90s? It was like
What's
anal
of the
sex.
80s?
Anal sex. Yeah.
I was like, I love that Samantha is talking about sex as if like it's a trend. Like,
Which is-
because to
yeah.
Samantha, it is. She's like, oh, as someone who's having the most sex, three-ways are in. Just like how in the 90s blowjobs were in, and how in the 80s everyone was having anal.
What do you think is in right now, sex-wise?
Polyamory.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
It's not three-ways though. Everyone's trying to not just have a guest star. Everyone's
It's
trying
like a star
to be
that you know. It's
in
not
this
a
relationship.
guest.
I agreed with what Samantha said though. Like, I've had orgies before, and like you don't want to be. I've been the guest star, and you don't want to be the couple. You don't want to be part of the mess or the decision. You want to show up, have a nice time, and just leave. Like, you don't want.
Yeah.
I really like, if Wolf and I don't want to have a threesome, but like it would be so complicated. We'd have to like talk about it and make sure we both feel okay about it, and then we need to discuss who we're bringing in, and like then we have to
seems
ask
like so much
someone.
work for like not the best. Like for what?
Not the best.
Like for like 5 seconds of fun.
It's literally, Samantha was so spot on. It's only fun to be the guest star.
Yeah.
Like, it is not fun to be part. Like, you just don't want to be part of.
It's really crazy.
The mess of it. And
it's
it could
really
ruin
messy.
relationships. But you know what I thought was weird? and I think this is true, but you tell me if I'm wrong.
Yeah.
The episode keeps like bringing up these themes of like the man wants to do it or the girlfriend agrees to do it for his birthday.
Yeah.
Or like Ruth in the end with Samantha, she's going to do it to save the relationship. And I was like, it's so true. Cause like no woman is saying like, promise me. Like I would never say to Wolf, like, promise me on my 30th birthday, we can bring a man into this. Like it's such a
and
man
that's what you see in
fantasy.
Couples to Throuples, the TV show, is you keep seeing, sorry, not to promote anyone watching anything else but this, but like, or listening to anything else but us.
No, this is great. This is like your content is perfectly aligning right now with the episode.
It's crazy.
Throuple's on the mind.
I literally was like, what the fuck is going on? Is
I can't
God
wait to watch
sending me?
this.
It's crazy. But anyways, it's always the man who's like wanted to spice up the relationship, and the girl's like, I guess I'm bi. And it's like, no, you're not. Stop.
And also like, I feel like men don't like, okay, men don't think like most women are not telling their boyfriends they want to bring another man into it. So like men don't have to think about what it would be like to watch your girlfriend in front of you be like making out with another guy. But guys posing these questions to women and women being weird, it's like, yeah, because I'm thinking about how I'm going to feel when there's another woman. Like, and don't get me wrong, if you're into it, that's great. And if it's something you want to do and everyone's down, good for you.
Yeah.
But I feel like whenever guys are like, girls like hate it, girls get so uptight. And I'm like, okay, just imagine for a second, picture me in front of you having sex with another guy being like, come meet us over here. Like, you'd be like, yeah, I don't know if I'd want to do that.
My friends and I, so we were recently on our big trip
to Florida,
to Sarasota.
On your girls' getaway.
It was actually really fun. But
That's nice.
we want to go. You should come with us next time. It was
Let
really
me know.
fun.
Let me know.
They all love you, by the way, because they're like, Hannah, the podcaster, and my friend group that doesn't know you, they're obsessed with you. I had a friend the other day, Hannah, who texted me and said, this is someone that I used to report to me on my team. Like I used to be her manager. She's like, Nora, I'm having a birthday party, February 29th. Will you please come? Also, I don't know if this is weird, but would you want to bring Hannah? She's a celebrity to me.
That is
and I
so
was like,
nice.
Hannah's going to love this. And she will definitely be
I'll
there.
Be at the birthday party.
She will be there.
And I'm not missing the party for the world.
She's literally not going to miss it. I was like, I will tell Hannah and we will be there.
That is so nice.
So cute.
I have been getting some feedback from my friends about, which is funny because you said the same thing to me. They're all like, you name drop like it's nobody's business.
My friends love that specifically. They were like,
I can't not say the name.
My friend in Sarasota, when I was in Florida, he was like, I've never been on a podcast where someone's name dropping, and it's fucking hilarious.
I can't help it because also I'm going to get confused with my stories if I don't say their
No. I know.
I need to say the name.
I have such crippling anxiety about that specifically, so that I'll never do it. But who knows? Maybe I'll slip up.
The men that I've been with who I'm name dropping all the time,
they're okay with it.
If you go on one date with me, you're pretty clued into like what the vibe is. Like I think there's only a couple people that I've been with that I know wouldn't like it, and you won't hear their name, Tony.
Yeah.
Just kidding. That's true. He would be miserable, but I know he's not going to listen to this.
I made a pact with someone the other night. I was like, I will not name drop you on my podcast or talk anything, and I'm not going to.
That's brave. I could not. Even if
if someone specifically tells me not to, I'm not gonna, because at the end of the day, I'm still a single lady over here, and you have a reputation to keep up. I got a reputation to keep up. If someone really doesn't want me to talk about them, I won't talk about them. I'm pretty laid back when it comes to this, but like I understand that other people aren't. So it's just hard though, because it's like, to some degree, like I'm such an open book that it's hard for me. It's so hard
not be an open book. But it's like in terms of Wolf, like there's a lot of ways that we're an open book, and a lot of things like we keep privately. But even whenever we agree to not share something, I'm like, oh my God, I've never wanted to share something more in my life on any public platform.
Right.
Don't tell me there's a secret. Because it's coming out.
I'm very much like, if you tell me not to tell someone, I'm very good at keeping that.
If it was like between us, but if like something happens between Wolf and I that's like funny a little bit or like cringe, and it's like, because to me it's like if everybody could laugh at it, isn't that worth it?
But the thing is also like, and I'm not gonna, sorry, I'm like, I purposely in my mind after last night's date, I was like, I'm not gonna hype this up. I'm just gonna let it flow. I'm not gonna freak out or talk about it or whatever. Here I am talking. I've brought it up now 5 times.
A few times.
One thing that he said to me was like, I don't care if he uses me for material. I'm very secure. And I was like, I was like, and that's what I'm looking for.
Yeah.
Like someone who's just like, I don't give a shit. Like
when I was doing,
like just
when I was putting together,
as long as you're not
show,
trash talking me, I'm like, no.
Yeah, and if you're gonna trash talk him, you'll just break
to
up with
everyone
it.
about how you lifted me up in front of Chipotle.
And that's probably he's probably proud to
He's
be telling
gonna be
people
like,
that.
I didn't lift you up. I like kind of like
He's like, I hugged you.
I gave you a hug. My feet were off.
flying.
I was flying in the air.
Flying in New
We're doing the
York.
dirty dancing, fly in front of Chipotle.
Okay. Oh my God. Wait, because I don't want to forget to mention it.
Yeah.
So in this episode, Shar is going out with this guy who wants to have a threesome, right?
Talk about on to the next one. She's just like,
She was like, we got to give it up for Shar. So she's on to the next one. She's going out with this guy and he's so cute. And he's like a philanthropist. He's great. They were killing me. So in the show, the 2 dates they go on are at like charity functions.
the names of the
were
charities. I
killing
wrote
me.
it down.
Dancing for Dyslexia.
Attention Deficit Disorder Mass Ball. I literally wrote that.
Killed me.
I was like,
me.
what?
And I was like, I don't know if these are supposed to be funny. Like, I was like, I don't know how they're just dropping it once and like no one's talking about it. Like, when they said dancing for dyslexia
killed me.
made me think about the Bat Gala, like the adjacent of like absurd,
Oh my God.
absurd names of just, that's what Shar's classy evening. She'll be at Dancing for Dyslexia if you need her. Like,
The Dancing for Dyslexia I was dying at that. I was like,
I
what
rewound.
is-
I forgot he was a philanthropist. So
Yeah.
I was like, where are they? Why are they here? And then I was like, oh, I guess
He's a philanthropist and an architect. They have a lot. They have a good circle.
They really do.
For not having
Where are they
dating
meeting
apps,
these
it's like they're
guys?
dating like guys with good stuff going
I think
on.
I've only been out with like a handful of guys who I was like very impressed with their career. I went out with a guy who worked at GQ, the magazine, as like an editor. That was impressive to me. And then when I was dating Carlos, like his film was in Sundance and he was hired for all these documentary series for like Netflix and Hulu, and he was always traveling for that. That to me was like brag. But everyone else has been like, I'm a barista. I'm like, that's awesome.
My favorite is I'm a woodworker. I'm like, okay.
Show me that spoon.
Why are you here? Why are you in Brooklyn?
Literally. This is I actually
sorry.
can't get
If
into
you're
what I want to say.
If
about
you're
that.
a woodworker or a rock climber, why do you live in New York? Like, just to tell everyone that? Why do you live here?
No, seriously,
Go somewhere where you can climb some rocks
and save some money.
and find trees where you can actually do your woodworking.
Like, this
you don't
is-
have to go to Home Depot to buy the wood.
Like, what are you getting out of being in New York, except for the fact that you can't pursue your
You
two
would be
loves of
shocked.
your life?
You would be shocked
That makes
how
no
many
sense.
woodworkers and rock climbers are running around New York City telling me that they do that. And I'm
Okay,
like,
this
why are
is
you
what
here?
I said on Shannon and Chase's pod,
Yeah.
which I won't get into because you guys just listen to that.
Yeah.
But there's so many. I think the reason that New York is getting like so unaffordable is because there's people who are just like wealthy, but are living here like living normal lives. Like if the middle rich, if you're here just in a big apartment with a dog and a baby working at like an accounting firm, like leave, go to the suburbs, go to another city. Like, I feel like New York is for the 1%, like the really old wealthy woman who's been here
And
forever.
for us to pursue
and
our
for
dreams.
the hustlers.
Yeah.
And for some celebs, because that's what makes it fun.
That is so right.
Like if you are just
if you're just here like,
as like an
climbing rocks.
right, like get out.
It's like, go to Hoboken.
It's the middle rich, like people who are wealthy, but they're not using the city for what it's for. They're just taking up the space.
That is so true. 100%. If I meet anyone in the next 24 hours who has a dog and a family and is just walking around, I'm going to be like, get out.
Get out.
Get out of here.
Get out.
Get on the fucking
But
lure.
after 24 hours, you guys are safe. Just the next 24 hours.
Sorry, I've been really thinking of my life
Also,
in
wait,
spans of...
Are we not doing the foot thing anymore?
We are. My feet were... Shit. My feet are really
Because
cold.
mine are a little like dingy.
Yeah,
and I've
I'm
been
so
like,
sorry.
and every time I look
no,
at
I
them.
didn't mean, yeah, I think they look great.
They look good up top.
I'm so sorry.
It's the bottom.
Hannah and I usually take off our shoes because we heard through the grapevine that it allows for more listeners because of the foot fetish
viewers
community.
on YouTube.
Because there's a foot fetish community that is really excited to look at our feet.
I don't know if anyone's listening just because they heard our feet.
We have yet. Yeah, no, the viewers. We have yet to see that.
But we're willing to try anything.
We're willing to try almost anything. And yeah, so Hannah is doing the work right now and I am not. I'm cold.
I can't show you guys the bottom, but I'll show you the top.
Hannah has her shoes off, is basically what I'm saying.
Okay, so threesome conversation. What are your thoughts on it?
On threesomes?
Who do you agree with here? Do you think Shar should have done it or not done it? I mean, obviously we know how it ends, but at this point in the episode, what were you thinking?
So this was another moment where I realized I was Shar because he was like, what are your fantasies? And she's like, to own a cottage in Maine. I literally would have said the exact same thing.
Okay, and did you agree though with her sexual fantasy, she said?
That was weird to fuck on her parents' bed. I was like, that was kind of weird. However, I did find it really weird that we just completely ignored her fantasy. And the whole episode became about what's his name? Jack.
Yeah, his
fantasy and obsessing about it. And I was like, okay, not that like they're gonna go to her parents' house and like fuck on their bed, but like he could at least he could ask like, okay, what's another fantasy that's more doable right now?
The whole episode. You know? And I also thought it's weird, like you're on the date with Charlotte, and I know that Charlotte's like thinking about it, and she seemed to be getting a little excited about it. So it was like, okay, like great, like let her ride this wave. But I was like, if I was at dinner with a guy or at drinks with a guy and the whole time he was like, she's looking at you, I'd be like, okay, well, let's let us have our drink.
You know what I just realized Jack could have done? Rented an Airbnb in Maine in a cottage. Because that was also one of her fantasies.
Oh, okay. I was like, yeah, I guess anyone with money could have done that.
He's a philanthropist. He's an architect. They should have gone to Maine and done her other fantasy, which is
she's putting in the work for his fantasy.
Is also my fantasy. It would be really
You're
nice.
Charlotte.
I am. It's really embarrassing. But yeah, I felt like it was. I feel like if Charlotte doesn't want to do something, she knows in her gut she doesn't want to do it, and whenever she gets pushed to do it, it always comes back to her gut.
But I felt like compared to episode 7, she was like, I don't like giving head. I don't want it in my mouth. I'm not going down on you. She was open to the threesome the way she was open to the anal. You know, like she was like really like thinking about it.
Yeah.
And I feel bad about how it went down. So flash forward end of the episode, she winks at this girl. She goes up to the private room at the party, and the girl joins and is like, girl comes up and is like, could I join you? And then she lets him in. Charlotte's like, so she's like excited and nervous, and she's like, I'm doing it. And then Jack and the girl just kind of like go at it and leave Charlotte. And she looked so tiny between the two of them. And I was like, I thought Jack, like, what an asshole. The whole episode is convincing Char that she wants to have a threesome, that she's so hot. Like, I hated when he was like, you don't even realize how hot you are. It's like, yeah, she does. She just might not want a girl to be, might just not want to be with a girl.
I just like don't really find it sexy to have to push someone into doing something with you.
Right. I feel like he should have said like, I would like to have a threesome. What do you think about that? And then given her a minute, he was like, no, like you don't get it. He was like, you don't even realize how it's like, let her, Charlotte is a team player.
Yeah.
To be with a man she wants to be with.
Yeah.
She will try stuff. So let her think about it.
Right. I just feel like I
guess I'm glad now that she didn't go through with it because of who Jack was.
I'm glad too. And I just feel like I just, in general, it's not sexy to push someone to do something sexually ever. We all know that, but I mean, hopefully. But
our listeners probably
are hopeful. Yeah. But then also it's like, if someone's really hesitant about doing anything, then why do you keep pushing? Like, just kind of let them, like, it's not sexy, because then once they do it, you're going to be like, are you having fun? Are you having fun? Or at least that's what I would be. I'd be so worried. Jack was like, fuck you. Goodbye.
Also, it felt like Jack just wanted to convince Char to do it and then just be with another woman.
Exactly.
Like, also, I feel like he wasn't saying like, thank you enough to her. Like I didn't like him. Wanted to have a threesome, and here she is. She's thinking about it. She kind of had a dream about it. She asked her friends about it. She's into it. She's gonna try it now. He should be like, I really appreciate this. like, this is like so nice of you. I promise we'll have sex one day on your parents' bed. Like,
yeah, that was kind of a really weird fantasy for her
Charlotte.
to have.
I guess though,
want
that's
that.
like so like high school bad girl.
Yeah.
I've never wanted that though.
Yeah. The thing with Charlotte is you're always kind of brought back to this little high school like moment of hers. Like
that's something if you did it in high school is crazy.
Well, she also was like,
that's not sexy.
It's gross.
It's gross.
She also was like, Charlotte hadn't been this excited since she woke up for the varsity cheerleading, whatever.
Did you try on her uniform for cheerleading?
I was like, Charlotte's living in such a little.
Wait, can I say something?
Of course, always.
I thought, well, first for context, in this episode, Carrie learns that Big had a threesome with his wife. And we learn out of nowhere that Big has a wife, right? And
he's
Carrie,
like, oh, I thought I told you that.
It's like, no, you didn't.
Another gaslighty thing.
You know you didn't.
And you know, yeah, sorry. I don't mean to interrupt you.
No, but it was so frustrating. It was also just like, he should say like, I did have a threesome. I want to tell you though, kind of a big deal for me to tell you this. Like I was married before. Like he was just like with my wife. Haven't you heard? I was married.
And then also him being like, yeah, I cheated on her. Like later on, it's like, that's actually a big deal.
Right.
Like you cheated on your wife.
I don't know if I
want to be with someone who did that.
He's like withholding stuff that he knows makes him look bad. But so anyway, in the episode, Carrie learns that Big has had a threesome with his ex-wife. Carrie is spending the episode kind of trying to meet this ex-wife to like get information about what happened with Big, right? Without asking him. And so then she's now walking with Charlotte, talking about how she's doing this and talking about the three-way with Charlotte. And I was like, it was really nasty. Carrie's line. She's like implying that Charlotte is stupid.
Yeah.
She was like, just when you think Charlotte is like this classic uptown girl who like you can't, who's just thinking about China patterns, she's all of a sudden the Dalai Lama. And then she's like, is my hair too shiny? And she's like, and then we're back. And I was like, I never think of Charlotte as stupid.
I do find her a little ditzy sometimes. I know. That. And that was part of the reason why.
I think Carrie's more stupid.
I think they all have their issues except for Samantha, honestly.
Yeah.
But it is kind of true what she was saying. Like Charlotte randomly will just come in with these hard, like just stone cold facts that are like, you're like, damn bitch, that was real.
But also I didn't even think what she said was that deep.
What did she say?
Her line was, how do we ever really know the people we're sleeping with? And Carrie was like, all of a sudden it's like she's the Dalai Lama. And I was like, what?
Yeah.
How do we ever know? We all are just meeting people like what? Big is probably what, in his late 30s? Like you just met him. There's 37 years you don't know about. Like
I Googled it and Carrie is 32 in this episode.
Wow.
So
how old are all the girls?
I don't know. I only Googled Carrie.
They're all supposed to be in their 30s. And I think Samantha's supposed to be the oldest.
Yeah.
Carrie looked amazing, I thought, in this episode.
She looks really
I also
good.
wrote this. We didn't talk about it. Episode 7, I thought Samantha in the ending in that red dress when she's hooking up in the apartment with the tights and the black heels looked really good.
Yeah.
I just did not want to say that.
I loved the dynamic with the broker.
That was
I loved the first broker.
The broker
later,
kind of reminded me of you. When she came in and is so, sorry to go back to episode 7, but when she comes in and is so like, Samantha's literally having sex and like with another broker and she's like, you promised me you wouldn't use another broker. She doesn't even care that there's people there that Samantha's tits are out. She's like, me. You promised me. Like I feel like that would be you. Like unfazed by what's happening. You're just like, what the hell? Why make promises?
Yeah.
You can't
no,
keep.
it's like you can't make promises. Yeah.
I don't want to forget to talk about this.
Yeah.
Because this is, okay, so up until this moment still in the series, they're doing the interviews where like Carrie asks her question and then random people are interviewed with like their opinions on threesomes, right?
Mm-hmm.
In this episode, I literally died laughing at the school teacher who's looking for 2 men to fulfill her sexual fantasies. And she goes, you be Black or Latino, I'll be on time. I need your dick now.
So insane.
Oh my God.
It really just the Craigslist ads in general.
I mean, like we know they still exist, but like you have to have a death wish for you.
It's also crazy like how you weren't able to see who you were going to choose before meeting up with them, like in life. It's just crazy.
I know. Like, that
must have been so stressful.
Can you imagine putting out a Craigslist ad for a threesome. And like in this school teacher situation, she was asking for 2 men, meaning she was going to be alone at her house and just waiting for 2 men, no idea who they are, what they look like.
Yeah.
Are just going to arrive at her home to have sex with her.
It's wild.
There should be a true crime.
Dude, the times are different.
About what happens to her.
Yeah, there should be. We could write that as part of our Patreon.
That'd be good.
Okay.
Oh my God, we should a Patreon series should be spin-off stories for like side characters.
Yes.
And we can use our improv and our
Sorry,
creativity.
I didn't mean to yawn and then scream. Yes.
It kind of sounded, for people who aren't watching, it just sounded like out of nowhere. Like, yes, I'm so excited.
Yes, I'm so excited.
Also Carrie in the paper. What the fuck was that big piece of bread in her bag? Loose bread. Did you see that?
No.
When she grabs the paper and she's reading the, the personal ads before we get the interview, she just has a big loaf of bread in her purse.
Really?
Not in a bag or anything.
Huh.
It just kind of...
It's very Parisian of her.
Would you ever have loose bread in your bag?
I might. In a tote bag at the farmer's market.
Loose.
A baguette. Baguette only.
Loose? Not in its own brown bag?
Nope. I've done that. It's very Parisian, Hannah.
Not one of the bottoms of my purses is clean.
Okay. Trust me, I know that.
The bottoms of my bags.
Trust me, I know about your dirty, dirty bags.
Loose change.
Remember when you brought your dirty, dirty bag to one of our mics and you got upset that I kept calling it dirty?
Yeah, because I knew I needed to clean it, and because Chase's was like 10 times more filthier than mine, and it was like a Nickelodeon tote.
You and our friend Chase, we went to an open mic, and you guys had taken your tote bags before the open mic and just ran them through the subway grates or something, and then handed them. You handed them to me and said, "Hey Nora, can you put this next to you?" I was like,
Nora,
no.
you said,
Nora?
"Do you want me to put your bags down with mine?"
So I put them.
What a nice offer.
So I put them on the floor, and then you guys were like, "Oh."
No, I didn't say that.
You guys were like, on the floor. I was like, Chase, they're really dirty.
No, remember, because I got upset because Chase reacted, and then you said your guys' bags are filthy, and I was like, I didn't want to be part of this. I was like, here I get this offer for her to take my bag. I don't care where the bag is. Chase is upset about the bag's location, and now my bag is being like made fun of publicly.
Dragged through the mud.
When I was like, I know it's dirty. And I was fine holding it in my chair. And now it is being made fun of in front of everyone.
I'm so sorry.
I have 3 big tote bags that are only used when they're needed. You know, they're not my day-to-day bag. Mm-hmm. And I knew it was dirty because I hadn't brought it to the laundromat in a while.
Yeah. So that's probably not going to be your bread bag.
Never. I don't think I'm going to have a bread bag. Unless it's bread, like if I get a small loaf that I'm going to be picking at.
Yeah.
And I pick it a little bit. Okay, I'll put it in my purse because I'm not going to finish it. But if I'm going to the store and I'm buying a loaf, they got to wrap it.
I normally would never do any of this, but I'm just saying there is this one moment where I'm at a farmer's market and I have a tote bag and I'm wearing sunglasses and maybe I'm even wearing like overall shorts.
Oh.
You know, and I'm just like walking through and I have a little baguette and it's in the tote bag and it's raw. It's just raw dogging the fucking tote bag.
As long as the tote bag is clean, it's fine.
I mean, I'll show you some of my tote bags tonight. They are clean.
Because I have loose change at the bottom of all my bags.
Yeah.
And change is dirty. Like,
right.
I can't have that touching my bag.
But normally, I'd prefer it to have a little condom on it or something.
Yeah, like a bag. It could be a better word.
My bread is raw dogging my tote bag.
I prefer it had a condom. Well, you're horny from last night.
No, Hannah.
You're not?
Hannah, don't.
Sorry.
That.
I just feel like after a date like that, I feel like there's energy. There's energy in the air.
I'm not. There is some energy in the air, but I'm
I'm so excited for my next note. Sorry, keep going.
Well, now we're in my fantasy land.
Stay in your fantasy land. This is about you, the next note.
Is it good?
Yeah, okay. I think.
Shit.
Go to your fantasy land. Sorry.
Well, I don't know what I was going to say. What I was going to say this, and this this is completely out of the context of the pod, but I read this in a book that I'm reading right now. I'm not going to say the title of the book. It's really embarrassing.
I think I know the book.
You know the book. I read a lot of self-help books as part of my journey in life. I find them very interesting, and I think there are some really good ones. The most recent one is when someone lets you go or like rejects you and you haven't fully pursued a relationship with them, it's not that you it's not that you miss them, it's that you miss the fantasy that they were creating. And so it's interesting that you just said fantasy, because I'm like, I'm trying not to enjoy the fantasy of last night because I don't want to then, if it's gone, miss it.
You don't want to make it bigger than what it is.
I don't want to make it something
so then
so then if it doesn't work out, it's just like, I'm just like, whatever.
I understand.
You know, like I have the power to build him right now. He's like my Build-A-Bear.
Yeah.
Although I do have to say, it kind of feels like we're getting married.
It does. It feels like a really great first date.
It was really
so, but that's all it is. It was a great first date, and we'll see what happens.
Watch by the time this podcast is over, it's like,
we're engaged.
It's no.
Oh, you were going the other way. I was going optimistic.
He asked for a restraining order. No, I'm just kidding. No.
He was like, I heard the pod.
Yeah, no, I specifically asked him not to listen to anything I've ever done or said. And he was like, I feel like I'm going to now. I was like, yeah.
It's always weird after a first date if someone like follows you on Instagram.
I hate that.
Because it's like, let's just get to know each other before you see like what I'm like. Also, it's just the social media of it all. Like, let's just date without the, oh, you're not texting me back, but you're posting on Instagram, or like, oh, like you said you weren't free this weekend, but it's because you're doing that. Like, let's get rid of all that and just get to know each other.
What were you going to say before?
I don't know if you were her or if you were the story, but Carrie meets up with Big's ex-wife, but she's a publisher. So she's like pitching a children's book to her.
The cigarette book?
Kathy and her magic cigarettes. I was like, I don't know if this is what Nora would write as a book, or I don't know if this book is about Nora, but this whole scene was you. Kathy and her magic cigarettes. I wish I had that book growing up.
I'm going to write it for you. That's going to be on the Patreon too. Kathy and her magic cigarettes. That was so funny when she says, and she can travel to anywhere, Arabia, New Jersey.
It was so funny. And also, like, she lights up and travels.
Also, the fact that she would go all the way there and not have an idea. That is very me, honestly.
I thought that was insane.
I would be like, yeah, so magic cigarettes?
Would you ever do that? If you're dating someone, you learn they have an ex-wife.
No.
I don't, like, I would never. No, like, I would ask them about it. Maybe I'd stalk her on Instagram.
Who knows? Exactly. We have
our own ways.
We are realizing how dated the show is over and over again, because it's like we wouldn't have to. Who knows? Maybe we would. I feel like,
and I guess in Carrie's world, this woman's an editor. It's not weird for her to meet up with her. It's weird for a sex columnist to want to write a kid's book about magic cigarettes like that. The editor, Big's ex-wife, was probably like, this is odd.
It was so confusing because then it was like, well, then she told Big that the editor told Big, his ex-wife told her that the lady that she pitched the thing to told Big that she had seen Carrie. And then it was like, she also had asked Carrie if they could be best friends. So it's like,
it was weird.
What is going on there? Like she seems kind of sketchy.
Yeah. Like at what
so you
point
did know that she was dating Big.
Between the second meeting, like when did you tell Big? Like, did she already know Carrie was dating Big? And then when at their second lunch, she was like, he had a wandering eye.
And then it's also like, this goes back to like him being like, yeah, I have an ex-wife, MBD. It's like, I talk to all my ex-wives. Like, it's like, I know he's kidding, but it's like, if you're in constant communication with your ex-wife, that is something we should talk about.
Right.
Like what?
And also, like, don't get me wrong. It's more of a green flag to have good relationships with your exes than
100%.
to have bad ones. But also, like, I would be fine if Wolf talked to like his exes from time to time. They were on good terms, but like, I would just want to know. I wouldn't want to be caught off guard with walking him on a phone call with the girl he like was in a 3-year relationship with. That would be like, okay, why? Why couldn't I know this?
Right.
What's happening that I couldn't know?
It's the hiding that is creepy.
And Big loves his little secrets.
He loves his secrets.
Big, I think when I watched this when I was younger, Big was always still the fantasy because I didn't have like an experienced lens on when I was watching it in like high school, you know? But like watching it now, like, Carrie, like what are we doing? Like I know I'm gonna get frustrated when we meet Aiden. when we meet Mr. literally
I'm going to get really
available,
frustrated
honest-
once we get to burger because I've dated some burgers in my life and it's rough.
She was so much hotter than Burger. I couldn't deal with that.
Really? I thought he was really hot, but he really frustrated me. Aiden, yeah, we just whatever. Anyways.
But can I say something really quick? And I'm not trying to jump ahead
Always,
too much.
always.
I know that Aiden was like perfect, but also like they never had like the spark that her and Big had. Like he was just open and
because
available.
Aiden's
and
not
kind.
shitty. And Carrie's shitty and Big is shitty. And
Yeah,
that's
but
ultimately, as all the theorists and PhD students.
As she's writing her master's.
As I'm writing my SATC
Your
master's. No, but it's like it's because he's not shitty.
Yeah, but I just feel like I wish there was a version of Aiden that had like a spark and the safety. Because Big is like so like there's no security, there's no safety. But for her, that gives her the spark. Where Aiden is so just available that she's like, well, I need a little something to chase. Like when she broke up with Aiden, I was like, duh. Like she's been in love with this guy forever who's like giving her the chase, which is what she believes, unfortunately, is what she believes like a relationship is. I'm like, Aiden was too easy.
Ultimately, though, I also feel like she has a materialistic mindset that we learn a lot about, honestly, in the movies. I don't want to jump too far again, but I think that and Big fulfills that for her. You know,
yeah, he does.
Like he really, again, I'll pick you up at 8. It's like, all right, you're
there we go, and we're back. And he has like an older maturity thing that I think she like. What did she say? There was one point where she was like saying she feels like a little kid. Like I think she likes the like being like a tiny younger woman who's like a little bit messy, and she's with this older businessman who has it together, quote unquote.
I go back and forth on that all the time. I'm like, do I want someone who like has their shit together, or do I want to take care of them?
Yeah.
I think I want someone who I can privately take care of, but in the surface has their shit together.
Yeah.
But not in like a creepy way. Like they're like, not like in a way that
like
they're
they
like,
don't have an illness. Like they're just,
no. Just like in a, like, they look like they have it all together, but sometimes they cry in my arms.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
nice.
it's okay, babe.
I think you can get that.
Well, last night was really telling. I'm just kidding.
My note about Miranda.
Yeah.
So Miranda's feeling left out, and the girls want to have a threesome with her, yada, yada, yada. I died when they're all trying on lipsticks together. And Miranda goes, does this turn you on? And they're like, it's a little orange. They're like, what are you doing?
Because she's gay.
And her therapist knows it. And I think the reason she was so hurt was because she wants to have sex with women, and she's learning right now women don't want to have sex with her.
Yes, I do think that mmakes sense, but it also goes back to that girl that was not giving me the compliment after the show. I didn't want to have sex with her. I just like, it was more just like, it must feel really sad to go around the circle and have all your friends. First, like, Charlotte's like, I would choose Carrie. And then Carrie's like, no, thank you. And then she's like, I would choose Samantha then. Samantha's like, maybe. And then Miranda's just sitting there like, that must feel like shit.
Right. And then Samantha's like, I'll choose Charlotte. And it's like,
yeah.
Somebody just should have not answered the question.
Yeah.
If Samantha was just like, ugh, girls, like you don't
like,
get
girls,
it.
enough is enough.
Right. Because then it would have been fine.
Yeah.
I will say, I think I liked the ending of Miranda's storyline where she looks so hot, cleavage alert, heading to the bar to meet the couple that's looking for a threesome.
Mm-hmm.
And they like think she's so gorgeous. And like it's like maybe she shouldn't need to find this external validation, but she goes, these people want to have sex with her. She looks hot. She gets her validation. She goes home.
Yeah.
I was like, go Miranda. She was like, maybe it's not ideal that I need this, but I need it. So I have to go get it.
Yeah.
And that couple was over the moon at Miranda.
They really were. They were like, oh my God, you're so pretty.
If you and your boyfriend are looking for a third, how are you feeling about Miranda showing up?
I'm fine with it because I think she's hot.
Yeah.
And like, I've had, my
out
queer,
of all the girls,
moments.
Who do you want to show up out of all the girls?
Samantha.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I want Charlotte to show up.
I want Samantha, but this is gonna align with all the gay comments that I make all the time, but like, because I am fluid, whatever. I would want Samantha, but I kind of just want to have like a one-off with her to like dominate me.
So okay, so you don't want to have a throuple. You want to have sex with Samantha?
I want to have sex with Samantha.
Okay, great.
I would just love for. I feel like if it was a three, I'd be really like. I would be really anxious that I wasn't being as cool as she is.
I think if it was my
but
first
I feel like
orgy,
me having sex with Samantha would be so like dominatrix liberating. Like,
yeah,
she'd be like, "Let's go."
She knows what to do. She knows what she likes. She'll know what
She
you
feels
like.
the expert.
That's why I feel like if I'm having my first orgy, I'd want Samantha because I'd want someone who's going to run it. Now, a later orgy in life, I'd want a Charlotte because I feel like if I'm in a relationship and we're bringing someone in, I don't want this person to come in and like blow our minds and then we can never be the same together.
Yeah.
I want someone who's going to come in and be a little like new to it and just like following our lead because I don't want someone to come in and if both of us have the best sex of our lives with Samantha, we can't go back.
I kind of wanted, I guess, also to be Miranda because she'll be more into me than the guy.
Yeah, because she's gay.
She's gay.
Also, I think we have like 10 minutes left. Maxim, what time did we start?
You have until 1 p.m.
Oh,
Okay.
but even the okay.
Yeah, no.
Then we're done. I thought
I'm
because
just
we
like
went to
that.
the bathroom, we got those 7 minutes
Nope,
back.
it's all over.
Oh my God.
When it's over.
This flew by.
I love these 2 episodes. We did a great job.
And then the episode ends. Miranda gets her validation. Char gets kicked out of the threesome and it's just a twosome, which is for the best.
Yeah.
Samantha breaks up a marriage, but then pulls it back together by convincing them they love each other.
Which we've done a TikTok on.
Also, really quick, I got to give it up for Ruth, who's the wife that finds out her husband's cheating on her. She's like, I'll join you. If that's what I have to do to save this marriage, I'll join you. I was
Ruth
like,
was really,
could not be me. Could not be me.
Ruth it was sad.
And Carrie and Big are as toxic as ever.
Yep. And on that note, thank you, everyone. Follow our page.
Follow us on
Leave
Instagram.
a review. Leave a review. That's really
on
big.
Apple or Spotify or
it's so
iHeart
easy
Podcast.
to do it. It's really easy. You scroll down and you just click the 5 stars.
Subscribe to our Patreon if you want extra content.
There might be a little secret surprise coming.
Maybe a sexy surprise coming.
A sexy surprise coming.
Thank you as always to My Friend's Basement Studio where we record and to Sean Curley for our intro and outro music.
I love you, Hannah.
I love you too. We'll see you at episode 9.
I'll see you then. Bye.
Bye.